You ever watch a movie and just feel the image? Not just see it, but actually feel it. You know, that cinematic warmth, the glow around the highlights, the skin tones that actually breathe, the grain that moves the motion, and you sit there wondering how they actually achieved that look. You know, I literally chased that for years, and it wasn't until I ran across Kazi's masterclass, and Kazi, he literally taught me everything I know in color grading. I literally speak about him all over this channel because he is one of my mentors and he is absolutely incredible when it comes to coloring. Now, with that, he did release, his Kazi toolkit, and this thing is a color grading game changer. Like, it literally leveled up my projects tenfold, and I use it for all my YouTube videos. So if you guys like what you see, this has been my secret sauce for the past year, or since I actually started the channel. Now, real quick, I know DaVinci Resolve 20 just dropped, and I know you guys are anxious for me to drop a video on it, but I am not going to do that. I'm actually still working in DaVinci Resolve 19, and here's why. One, DaVinci Resolve 20 is actually still in beta, which means they don't have a full version yet. And when you're working on professional client projects, you don't want to be rolling around with unstable software. And the second reason why I haven't upgraded to the 20 version yet is because I'm still running all this on my old 2018 MacBook Pro, and it's rocking an Intel i7 processor and 16 gigs of RAM. This thing is older, but it is a tank. And this thing has been through everything, and it is starting to show its age. I plan on upgrading soon. I'm just really torn between going all in on a Mac Studio or grabbing a spec'd out Mac Mini. So if you guys got thoughts, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys are working with. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to use Kazi's toolkit in DaVinci Resolve 19 Studio using a node tree that is my go-to for literally all my projects right now. And if you guys don't want to follow along with the video and you guys just need the node tree, feel free to go to the description box below and download it. And if you guys want to try Kazi's toolkit for yourself, he does offer a free trial for you guys. And regardless, I do have a $50 discount for you guys. It's in the description box in a link for you guys, so feel free to check that out. Trust me, every penny counts, right? And Kazi's toolkit is well worth the investment. Now, I'll let you guys know, I'm not trying to sell you guys something at all, okay? It's all about showing you why this process works and how I build a filmic grade from scratch and how this toolkit makes the job not just easier, but literally better and more consistent across the board. I'm going to walk you guys through the exact node tree that I use, and this structure, it gives me full control from prep to polish, and it's designed to work specifically with Kazi's toolkit in a DaVinci wide gamut intermediate workflow. My DaVinci Resolve pulled up right here. Node 1 right here is our noise reduction. And this is something that you guys can start your node tree out, and it's for your temporal spatial noise reduction. And you can add just enough to get rid of all that digital gunk without softening too much, even though you are going to soften the image just a hair, But it's especially helpful with mirrorless footage or even low light scenes. And I love this noise reduction, okay? It does everything I need to do. I don't use Neat Video right now. I've been using this only. And my settings for my noise reduction is set right here. Sometimes I'll go with 2, sometimes I go with 3, depending on how my computer is processing it. Right now I have it set to 8.8 and my chroma delinked at 10.8. This just gives me the best results for everything across the board. So our CSTN right here, this is our color space transform, and this is just converting our image from our log format into our color space. And this was shot on Blackmagic RAW, but in our RAW card, we can go to our color space and we can switch just to the color space we like to work with. And since I love working with my ARRI, I like to actually work within the ARRI color space. So that's just something I prefer. So I got the color space transform set to ARRI wide gamut and ARRI log C3. And then we have our Rec 709 set to DaVinci wide gamut Rec 79 Gamma 2.4 because this is just a delivery system that's going into YouTube and social media. So it's nothing too special. It's not going into theater, right? So we're not going to have to work with P3 at all. But that's what this is set up for. And then we got our highlight node right here. And our highlights node, we use HDR palette. And I typically keep it around a -20 to -31, depending on how the image was shot. I just don't want all the highlights to be blown out. Like the spectacles are okay, like stuff like this, but the rest of the stuff, I don't want it to be blown out. So I just bring it down ever so slightly. And then our balance node. Now, this is where the magic starts to happen. And we get all the stuff dialed in our white balance, our exposure, our contrast, our saturation, everything gets dialed in right here. And then after we get done with this node, we go across the entire board and we do the same thing to shot match everything. Once everything is shot matched, then we start coming into our look development. So my next node here is our look DNA. And with this is just bringing in that filmic look. It's giving me the Kodak 2383 preset within the DaVinci Wide Gamut DaVinci Intermediate. And then after I get done with the look DNA, I'll come into our color chart to dial in a feel, like an emotion, a mood. And how I do this is I come in here to our compression near and I slide this to the max right here, and I put our target hue to a color that I really want. The best thing about this is that everything is complementary, which means it just complements the color. So we have yellow and blue, or green and magenta. So I set what I need right here. Underneath target saturation, I just leave it alone, which, the best thing about this is that I can find where I want it and I can just dial this in. So I could keep it probably like right around here, and I'm happy with it. The next thing that we will do is we'll come into sat control, and this just allows me to pump up the saturation where I need it to go. And I have more control over where I want the saturation to live, if that makes sense. And then our skin juice mixer. Now, this is where we can select our skin hue, and this is what we're going to be working with on the skin juice mixer. And then right here is our exposure and our saturation for the skin. So like I can dial in more or I could take back. See what it's doing? Absolutely incredible, and it's non-destructive. We can always come back in here to our look DNA and we can set the temperature in our tent to warm it up or even cool it off a little bit more. And right now I'm very happy with where we are sitting. I mean, because this is a sci-fi and it's kind of an interesting tone for this film. And if you guys been following along with our project Mia, you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. Our next node here is our halation, and I happen in between on keeping halation node here or actually moving it up by the balance node and like right after the balance node, but I think it's all up to preference. I like to keep it right here. Now, node 11 here is our film grain, and obviously Kazi doesn't offer a grain DCTL, right? But there's two things that I use for my film grain if I choose to do it, and that'd be either Dehancer or just what DaVinci offers underneath the Film Look Creator. And I really love what they have done underneath the Film Look Creator. And in order to get the best film grain, I just keep it on clean slate. I just come down to my grain and I just click enable, and I typically keep it at 35 millimeter or 16 millimeter. I really love the look of the 35 millimeter grain. For our next node, it is our sharpening. And let me talk about that for a second, because when you apply your noise reduction, like we stated earlier, it does soften the image. So you want to bring that sharpening back before you actually convert it back into Rec 709. It's all a sandwich. That's what I'm creating. It's a sandwich. I'm creating the meat in the sandwich. So in order to do that, I applied just a subtle sharpening using our blur tool right here. So if you go up on this, you will blur the image. But if you come down, it sharpens the image, right? And I keep it very subtle. I keep it around 47, and that's just enough. It's just enough. And then our next node here is our Kazi chart again. And this is just to dial in the final look on everything. And, it does help me with the false color and everything like that to make sure everything is balanced. So I can come back here to my balance node and I can adjust everything. Here's a quick pointer for you guys, okay? If you guys are just starting out and you're wondering why you would use mid-gray, because it does help you set your contrast and set it properly. Now, look what happens though. We're looking at our false color and we're looking at our mid-gray right now. And I want you to pay attention to our balance node. And actually, I'm just going to create a new node just for the heck of it. And I wanted you guys to see this because I've noticed this recently. And if you guys are trying to do your balance right in your look DNA, it will mess up your whole mid-gray section. Okay. So I want you guys to look right here on my scopes. And you can see clearly where my contrast is sitting, which is right around 385, right? So if I adjust my exposure underneath my look DNA, look what's happening. My mid-gray is going down, right? And it's going up. So it's adjusting that mid-gray level, okay? But there is a fix to that. So if you come into your balance node and you adjust it, this is where everything comes into play here. So we're going to bring our pivot down to like 335, 333. And I'm just going to adjust this just slightly. And then I'm going to bring up my offset, which is my global, right? It's changing the exposure for everything within the primaries. Look what's happening when I do this though. It's bringing up the overall exposure while leaving the mid-gray where it's sitting, okay? So everything is being set and dialed in properly without it messing around with my mid-gray levels. So that is just a quick note for you guys to keep in your head if you are working with Kazi's toolkit. Don't use the look DNA for your balance node. Use a node before that, so that way you can dial in everything and make sure everything is set properly. And finally, our last node here is our CST out. And this is where we actually transform from DaVinci Wide Gamma Intermediate to Rec 709 Gamma 2.4. I actually enable tone mapping right here. And with this, I set the method to DaVinci and I dialed the max input to 10,000. That just gives me a clean broadcast safe image that still preserves all the dynamic range from our log source. Let's look at what this actually does. Here's the log footage, and here it is, the graded with this node structure using Kazi's toolkit. Now, here's the thing. This node tree only works if you have Kazi's toolkit. It's not built for generic LUTs. It's optimized for this exact suite of tools. So if you don't own it yet, this structure will not give you the same results, okay? But if you do have it, or if you grab it using the link below, this workflow is going to change the way you grade. It's going to help you move faster, grade with confidence, and deliver images that actually feel cinematic. I use this on literally everything. Like I stated, I use it for all my client work, my narrative shorts, the YouTube content, and it just holds up every single time. And if you guys are ready to upgrade your color workflow, just check out Kazi's toolkit. Like I said, he does have a free trial for you guys to download and try. Now, you guys can use the link in the description box and you will save $50 and you'll be supporting not only this channel, but you'll also be supporting our mission. This isn't about tricks or trends, right? It's about control. It's about intention. It's about building a look one node at a time. If this video helped, let me know. And I want you guys to drop a comment like, what film look are you chasing? Are you chasing Kodak 2383 or Fuji? Or maybe something stylized? Like the video if you got value out of it and share it with a filmmaker who's trying to level up. And if you guys haven't done so already, I want to encourage you guys to subscribe for more in-depth tutorials. We post a video every week, and you never know what we're going to be posting, right? But this video was a must because we did get a lot of comments in asking us to do a video like this, and we listened to you guys. And since you guys needed something to help you guys out, get a node tree, that's why we did this video. Until next time, practice and create.